Hey folks, welcome to Fyrefly's Follies. I hope that you enjoy the video today. If you do, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And if you have not subscribed, I hope that you will and that you'll stick around for a while. So today I am going to be canning up some berries that I had frozen in my freezer and I needed to make some space. And these are the berries that I use to make my Dragon's Heart wine and my Dragon's Heart jelly. So it is a combination of frozen cherries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. And I've thawed it all out, and I'm going to get started making juice from it that will eventually become jelly and wine. And I will tell you, this is a delicious juice just to drink. Now, it's not going to be ready to drink today. You have to let it sit for 8 weeks is good, 12 weeks is better. So I'm going to start with a little less than a half a cup of sugar in each of my jars. There are some very tart cherries in this particular mix. I think I have enough berries to do 5 quarts. If I have a little extra left over, it'll just be a treat for the girls. Alright, so to each of my jars, I'm going to add some water that I brought up to a simmer. It's nice and hot, just to dissolve the sugar. I'm not going to put a lot in, just about what I put in sugar, and then I'm going to give it a good stir. And that is just to get the sugar started dissolving. Okay, now to each of my jars, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of my berries. And it doesn't have to be exact. Right, and then the juice that came out when they thawed, I'm just going to pour in one of the jars. Alright, so now I'm just going to give these a good stir. And I'm going to top these all up to about a 1-inch headspace. And I have another pitcher of hot water sitting behind me that I'll have to grab. Right. And now I'm going to take some pieces of paper towel and just some plain white vinegar, and I'm going to clean the rims. I just want to make sure that I didn't splash anything, get anything on there that's going to prevent this from sealing. And that one had a little bit of sugar on it. Alright, then I'm going to put my lids on, and I'm going to put rings on fingertip tight. Now these are ready to go in the canner. I'm doing something a little bit different today. Normally you water bath these for 10 minutes. Very simple, just takes a while to bring the water bath canner up to a boil, but once it reaches a full rolling boil with about 1 inch of water over the top of your jars, you let it go for 10 minutes. I've been using my Presto canner, and that's the one that I have out, so I'm going to be using it. Now you can use your Presto canner as a water bath canner, you just don't lock the lid. These only have to go for 10 minutes, so I'm actually going to be using it as a steam canner today, and I'm going to steam these for 10 minutes. Now for steam canning, you process the same amount of time as you would for water bath canning. And I wouldn't recommend using your Presto canner if you have something that has to water bath or steam can for an extended period of time, because you might run it dry and that would warp your canner. These just have to go for 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load them in the canner. I'm going to bring it up to a full head of steam and let it vent. I'm going to let it vent for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. It's actually faster than bringing a full kettle of water up to a boil. So once it comes up and starts steaming, I'll bring you back and we'll talk about it a little bit more. If it was something that had to process for a really long time, I would not use it as a steam canner. But in order to use it as a steam canner, you simply lock your lid, bring it up until it starts to vent a full, steady stream of steam. Let your steam build up just like you normally would, and when you would put your regulator on, that's when you start your timer. After that 20 minutes, I'm going to shut the heat off, and I'm going to let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes before I take the lid off. So once that 20 minutes is up and it has released all of its steam and it's no longer spitting any little bits of steam out the vent pipe, then I'll come back and I'll show you how these turned out. Alright, I just wanted to come back real quick and show you guys that without the regulator on, your lock still comes up and it's just blowing a steady stream of steam. And this is when I start timing, is once that lock comes up, I know that the entire internal compartment is up to steam. Okay, so I brought them up to a full steam and let it vent for 10 minutes, and then I let them process for 20 minutes without the regulator. So I just steam canned them for 20 minutes. Once 20 minutes was up, I turned the heat off and I let them sit until the lock dropped, and then I let them sit another 5 or 6 minutes before I took the lid off, and they've been sitting here with the lid off for about 5 or 6 minutes, and I think that I've heard them all seal. But let's get them out and see how they look. And again, these are going to go in the pantry for at least 8 weeks to allow all the flavor to infuse into the water that we put into them. They're better if you wait until 12 weeks, but at least 8 weeks. So tomorrow I will take off the rings and I will wash the jars. I'll check all the seals, although I have heard them all seal. I will double check all the seals and I will label them. And when I label these, I will label these Cherry-Berry Juice. And instead of the can date, I will put on the use after date. Once they've sat in the pantry for 8 to 12 weeks, then I can open them and I can strain them. I can drink the juice poured over ice. To be honest, I am probably going to use this to make a small batch of my Dragon Heart wine and maybe try a little bit of Dragon Heart jelly. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video today. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really does help my channel out a lot. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will and that you'll stick around for a while. If you hit the notification bell, YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video based on your settings. Y'all, thank you so much for watching today. Have a great day.